All right, we are going to draw the cam displacement diagram for this cam. We, from this question, can see that the maximum height is 50 millimeters. All right, I'm going to start out and I'm going to measure off 50 millimeters, and I'm going to place it on this diagram over here where it says the displacement in millimeters, and I'm going to draw a construction line going across at that 50 millimeters. Right, the first step of this cam, it says from 0 to 90 it rises to its maximum. All right, so I place my pencil over there at 0, and I know that it's going to end at 90. So I draw a line going between 0 and 90. It then says that from 90 to 150, the follower falls 25 millimeters. So I measure off 25 millimeters, and I place it over here, and I draw a line going across at the 25, and it says that it goes back to 150. So at 150, it's going to be at that point, and I can draw a line going back to that point. It then says from 150 to 240, the follower will dwell. Okay, so it's going to stay in the same position until it reaches 240, which is at that point over there. So I can draw a line going across to there. It then says from 240 to 300, the follower rises to 25 millimeters. So I look for 300. There's 300, and it's risen 25 millimeters. I know that that displacement over there is 25 millimeters. And I can draw a line going up there. It then says that from 300 to 360, the follower falls its full 50 millimeters back to its origin. Right, once I've got that, I can now take this information across to this line on the cam profile, and I can then start drawing in these things. First of all, that 0, you can see 0 degrees is at that point over there. What I would suggest you do is you take your pair of compasses and you draw a nice big circle with a radius that is going to go to the maximum of this graph. So I draw a line going across from the maximum height over here. I extend my pair of compasses out to that point, and I draw my first circle for my cam. All right, that's the maximum height. Next step that you're going to do is to break that up into the 12 equal parts, and then we are going to label those with the 0 right the way around to 360. Right, so over here I've got 0 degrees. I now need to know which direction this cam is going to be going in. This says that the disc cam rotates with a constant velocity, the following cam uniform motion to the wedge-shaped follower. I need to know which direction it's going in. Where does it tell me my rotation? Anti-clockwise. There we go. Under specifications, it says that I'm going in an anti-clockwise direction. In other words, I must start out and I must draw in an arrow going in an anti-clockwise direction. If I've got an arrow going in that anti-clockwise direction, the 30 must come over here. 30 degrees over here, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180. Please write these numbers in big enough. 180, 210, 240, 270, 300, and 330. And this one goes back to 360. Right, make sure that you do the labeling in the correct direction. If it's anti-clockwise, I must label this thing in a clockwise direction from 30 going around to 360. If it's going in the opposite direction, if it's going clockwise, I must label in an anti-clockwise direction. Right, once I've got that in place, I can then say, right, at naught, there's my point naught. I then move up to 30. I take a line going across from that intersection over there to this line over here. I'm now going to draw a arc with my pair of compasses going back from that point to 30. Now, please do the actual arcs. They want to see them. There's my first point. I'm going to put a blob. Please do not put a blob. All right, I'm just doing that so it's easier for you guys to see. I then go to 60. It's that point over there. Take it across. Take your pair of compasses, extend them out to there, and we draw an arc going across there to 60. My next point is at 90. We can see that it's at its maximum. We've already drawn that circle in. It then falls back to this point over here. And that point is going around to 120. There's my next point, 120. I then fall back to my 150. I'll take that. Sorry. From there to there. Go to 150. There's my next point. It then, you'll see, remains in the same position for 180, 210, right up to 240. All right, so straight away I will take my pair of compasses, kept at that, and I look for my 240, and I draw in a nice dark line going between those points over there. Right, once I've got that, I then start climbing over here, goes across to this point over here, and I take that around to, taking it all the way around, and it ends up at 270. The next one I take across is it's at its full height, and that is at 300. So at 300, it's at its full height. It then falls down again. There it is. I'll take that point all the way around to the 330. There it is. And then it says that it goes all the way back to 360 over there. Once I've got those points in place, I then need to just construct these arcs that are going to give me the curve that I need. I'm just putting little dashes between these points to get a nice feel as to what the curve looks like. Okay, and once I've got that in place, I can then draw in these curves along those little dashed lines that I've got. And that's the profile that you should get.